Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea, and today I want to talk to you about homeschooling during September. This is a time that I can easily feel overwhelmed with everything that I have taken on for the year, and sometimes this is when I start to kind of feel like I'm maybe starting to get behind because we travel a lot during September. This is the month that we typically will take all of our road trips and things like that because school's back in session for everybody else, but it's still really nice weather. Personally, I just got back from a trip to Scotland where we saw Edinburgh and St. Andrews, and we went by Hadrian's Wall and a Roman fort that was attached to it, kind of like where Hadrian's Wall began, as well as then we went through York. So I have been gone for about a week. I'm feeling quite behind, and so for the last couple of days, we've just kind of hit the books hard and trying to catch up a little bit. So I had some thoughts because this is my fifth year homeschooling since my son's in the fourth grade. And I don't stress about it as much as maybe I used to because I know that everything's going to work out just fine. But here's what I do to kind of keep the September overwhelm at bay. I rely heavily on my morning basket. So I am going to share with you what we currently have in our morning basket. There are whole podcasts specifically that you can find about the morning basket concept. The morning is just such a pleasant time to start your day together, to kind of feel productive right from the very start. So basically on any given homeschool day, what will happen is when my kids get up, we will typically make sure that we start our studies at 9 a.m. But before that, we're having breakfast and stuff like that. And just due to like my personal preferences and my kids' personal preferences, we all kind of prefer to have something like a bacon and eggs type of breakfast in the morning. And so that lends itself to kind of being ready all at the same time where we're all eating together for breakfast. When I set down the bacon and eggs, that's just kind of my prime time to get started with our morning basket. And so what I have in my morning basket are the readings that we can do together that maybe are like a little bit more gentle, a little easier to kind of get into. I'm not going to hit them hard with a tough reading that they're really going to have to concentrate on, but just like a really enjoyable one. So this is what is currently in our morning basket, and this might change from day to day. Usually what I'll do is I'll first look at the readings on our Ambleside Online list and see kind of maybe what I'm behind on the most, what's the most important thing for this day. If there's any particular reading that kind of goes along with something that we're doing this week, I'll certainly do that. So let me grab my morning basket here. So I have these all over my house. You might have noticed. I get them on Amazon. I love these baskets because you can fit so many books in here. A lot of the things that are currently in here are my year 2 readings because she is moving right along on learning how to read, but she's just not at the level where she can just grab this book and start reading it on her own and then narrate it back to me. In this basket, I have a lot of her books, but my son also enjoys hearing them. We really got started on the Ambleside Online schedule last year, so he did most of the year 3 readings. We didn't get to some of them, but he hasn't heard all of the year 2 stuff, so he does enjoy this. So what I have in here currently is this, A Child's History of the World. They are pretty short little chapters, so, a few minutes over breakfast, and they're usually, there's a little bit of silliness to it, which is appreciated for my kids. Yesterday we did the reading about real castles, and it was kind of funny how it started out with it was like, you might think that castles are only in fairy tales, but they're actually real castles. And my kids are like, yeah, we've seen like 12 of them because we live in England. So, okay. The next one that I have is the Burgess Animal Book for Children. If we are doing this during our morning basket time, it will just be a chapter. They're not that long, but this is just a really cute book about Old Mother Nature in the woods is teaching all of the little animal critters about themselves. This is currently the one that I'll pull out pretty much every morning, is Little Pilgrim's Progress, because each chapter is seriously like 2 pages, so they're super short, and it's actually just a good way to start the day with a good Christian message, and it will usually follow a Bible reading. I'm doing this kind of out of order because I put the books back in, and so the ones that I usually get to first are on the bottom. Anyway, this is the Bible that I'm currently doing my daughter's Bible readings out of. It's this children's Bible. I love it because it's just a regular Bible, but it has beautiful pictures in it that I think help my daughter pay attention a little bit more and be a little bit more intrigued by it. And there's pictures on almost like every other page. So it's really, really good, but it's just a regular ESV Bible that I read to both of them at the same time, but that's usually for my daughter's reading. Also, just depending on, again, like what we are needing to get to, we are reading Children of the New Forest. I have this in my morning basket just in case. I think I had it in here because I was a little bit behind, so I wanted to get to this one. This is actually on my son's reading list right now. I think it's technically a year 3 book, but we didn't get to it last year, so we're doing it this year as kind of a catch up. But it's super good, so I'm glad that we're doing it all together. Let's see, I also have this poetry book in here, so maybe I'm doing this wrong. You might be feeling overwhelmed watching me. I don't read all of these books every morning. I just pick out a couple. I definitely do the Bible reading if it's on the list for the day, and pretty much a Pilgrim's Progress. And then after that, I'll choose like 1 or 2 of these. But this is my daughter's poetry book. And again, just due to her reading level, I'm reading it. She likes to try to read it after me. Once she's kind of familiar with what some of the harder words might be, then she'll like to try to read it. But I'll typically read it to both kids so that we're all hearing it and we'll just talk about it. But it's really not, we don't even have like that much of a discussion about it. It's just, this is today's poem. That was pretty, or what did you think about that? What do you think that they were talking about? We might have that type of a discussion about it. Let's see. Sometimes I have Our Island Story in here just because every now and then I'll get to it in the morning, but this is typically an afternoon read. Also in the morning when we're all together, I might do a little Spanish lesson, and we are currently on the series 7 of this Speaking Spanish with Miss Mason and Francois. And again, these are like, this took probably 10 minutes yesterday when we did this together. And what you do is you first kind of memorize the English part, and then you learn the Spanish part, and you do it all together. There's usually like some questions. We're talking about things that you can do. So I ask my kids questions, and I'll kind of go back in between both of them, and I'll mix up the order so that I know that they're understanding what the questions are. But it's like, ¿puedes caminar? Can you walk? And then they're supposed to say, sí, puedo caminar. And anyway, so I really enjoy this. This is also good in the morning because for language learning, they're a little bit more ready to go, especially, when they've had something to eat and drink and stuff like that. And then the other thing that we will typically do in the morning is geography. I love this elementary geography book by Charlotte Mason because these lessons, like right now, we're learning about the compass. And so lesson 29 is right here, and it's this page, and then that's it. So it's just a quick little geography lesson. And then I like to do that in the morning because when we go outside on our walks, we'll usually talk about what the geography lesson was about, because it will give you specific things that you can notice about when you're outside. And we also will have like a little compass that we're using right now so that they can kind of practice using their compass when we go out for a walk later on in the day. That was pretty much it for my morning basket. Why the morning basket is so important is that it just kind of kicks off your day in such a productive manner. If we got to nothing else, if we just did what was in our morning basket, that was still pretty good. So after our morning basket, sometimes we'll still be at the kitchen table. Sometimes we will have moved into the living room, but that's when they go and have a break. They'll go brush their teeth and make sure that we're dressed and ready to go. And then we'll come back and get to work on our individual subjects. Usually when we come back down after morning basket, I'll do math with one of the kids while the other one does piano with their headphones on. So we have an electric piano so that you can plug in headphones and do your practice that way. So that's really good. And that keeps everybody kind of in their own zone, so to speak, even though we're in the same room. Then we just kind of get started on the rest of the day with our individual lessons, take breaks, do all of those things. But it is just a wonderful way to kind of get you on track at the beginning of the day. I hope that that was helpful for you. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful fall and start of your homeschool year. Let me know down below if you also use a morning basket or key things that you definitely have in your morning basket that are just really critical. Let us know below so that everybody else can see and benefit from your wisdom as well. I always really appreciate that. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.